undercover in a prison for teenagers. Home to these 12 to 18-year-olds.
Can't be funny, which is such a to start. He deserves to get kicked in my eyes.
Custody officers controlling by menace, even brutality.
Thank you very much.
One of the world's biggest security firms, g4s, is paid millions to look after these young inmates. But not like this.
All I ask you to do is clean this door, and you ain't all you done.
If he's around adults and authority figures that behave in such a manner, it's not going to fix him, it's going to make him worse.
Tonight we ask, is G4S failing some of the most vulnerable youngsters in the country?
You alrighty? Alright? Yeah, let's have a wander around.
Medway Secure Training Centre, near Rochester in Kent. This is a prison not like other prisons. It's home to around 70 boys and girls, aged 12 to 18, who are accused or convicted of crimes, from theft to murder.
You don't drink coffee!
I'm here to investigate allegations from whistleblowers that teenagers are being mistreated, bullied, and even abused by custody officers.
He's sat down on the floor like that.
I've got a job with G4S, who run Medway, as a custody officer. The inmates here are called trainees.
Banging shit, calm down.
There's up to 8 in each unit, looked after by 2 or 3 custody officers, like me.
10 years, isn't it? And then,
Talk to you, mate.
how much is baby?
They're sent here specifically because they're vulnerable or at risk. They're also challenging. This is Billy, not his real name.
Well done, mate. Well done.
He's 14 years old.
G6. Hold them.
He's been in and out of trouble for most of his life and is now at Medway because he attacked someone.
Now curl him up. Curl him up.
He's just arrived from a secure children's home, which couldn't cope with him.
As much as he drives me to the brink of going, I just can't do it, there's still a little boy in there who is just lonely and doesn't know what to do. It's pretty sad, really.
See that?
Stop, you little
It's Medway's job to keep Billy and the other young inmates safe, provide high-quality education and rehabilitation.
Chill out. Dude, chill.
Before starting work at Medway, G4S provides all new recruits with 8 weeks of basic training. There are 3 main grades of custody officer: training centre assistants, like me, team leaders, and the most senior, duty operations managers. We're taught that we must keep youngsters in our care safe, and that if there's trouble, we may have to restrain them, but only if absolutely necessary.
It's not your job to harm anyone. If you're harming someone, that's excessive use of force, okay?
So if the young person says you can't breathe, what's the first thing I will do? Check and adjust, basically, check and adjust the whole.
If we use excessive force, we can be disciplined or even prosecuted. Out of the training room and in the prison, it's a different world. It's my 13th shift and I'm in a classroom. I'm waiting with a female custody officer and 3 inmates for the next class to start. One of them is 14-year-old Billy. He's shouting at Gareth, a team leader, who's outside in the corridor with Chris, a duty operations manager.
He's gay.
Gareth comes to the door and tries to get in. Then it looks like Billy may be trying to reach for the female officer's radio or keys. I don't expect what happens next. First response means emergency. He restrains Billy and I have to help. Other officers arrive, including Chris, the most senior officer present. He's the one with the red watch. He has his fingers on Billy's throat. During training, we were repeatedly told to always protect airways. Choking anyone is never allowed. Dr. Andrew McDonnell is one of the most published experts on how to handle challenging behaviour, including physical restraint.
Yeah. He's got his fingers right in there, I can actually see them in there. There's applying pressure there. That is really dangerous. He's telling you he can't breathe, so let go of him. That, to me, is an example of actually excessive force while applying restraint.
Hurting inmates in this way is against the rules. It may also make these youngsters more likely to reoffend.
If I was a young person in that situation and that was done to me, I'd be pretty angry. Also, these people are role models, so what they're doing almost makes it legitimate for those young people to also be violent and aggressive.
Hold on. Right. Yep.
Billy is being forcibly taken to his cell.
Listen to me. You need to calm down. Stop moving. Right, no, that's fine. I let me. I'm get him off. He's like, oh! Hold on. I let me.
I don't know how much weight Gareth's putting on Billy's arm and wrist, but it looks painful.
Well, that's a 14-year-old, probably very traumatised boy. The fact that these kids have actually been involved with crime, some of them commit some serious crimes, doesn't make them any less human.
It takes the team of custody officers nearly 8 minutes to get Billy into his cell. He acts tough. But Billy has mental health issues and behavioural difficulties.
To the corridor, please, guys.
At the end of it all, he looks broken.
He's scared. He can't breathe. You know, he's crying. And you just see a child who's literally just kind of been manhandled. Excessive use of force. It was not necessary.
I know when these children wind you up the way he was winding that officer up, it can be hard. But they are there to do a job and to help that child to rehabilitate, and I can't see how they're going to do that. Seeing that just completely blows everything I thought out of the water.
Gareth, the team leader who began the restraint, tells us how he's going to justify it.
Went for a radio, I was trying to get into the ring, but door of his foot. As got in there, grabbed hold of me. That's pretty much it, really.
Billy may have been reaching for the radio, but he wasn't trying to grab Gareth. Billy was trying to defend himself. G4s investigate.
One of you can wait in the hot dish room.
Yes.
For us.
Gareth and 2 other custody officers say the restraint was justified.
You didn't see anything untoward happen, or from...
No, not really.
Gareth?
It literally happened in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
To continue our investigation, I feel I have to stick to the story too. 3 weeks later, Gareth is allowed back to work. Before broadcast, we informed the authorities about our evidence. G4s currently runs England's 3 secure training centres. But later this year, it'll stop running one of them, Rainsbrook, after the Chief Inspector of Prisons found evidence of abuse. G4s still has the contract here at Medway.
There are some deep questions to be asked about what was happening here that go beyond individual staff behaving badly. Also, it's got really concerning echoes of what we found at Rainsbrook Secure Training Centre.
Many of the staff I meet are okay. A few are amazing. But some really worry me, like this man, Anthony. He was an ordinary officer like me for 18 months before being promoted to team leader. I'm supposed to learn from him. Here he's boasting openly in the kitchen about hurting a 14-year-old child.
Bang! 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 He's got his arm like that. Bang! That was it. He's all what are you doing? Come out, you've got down the corner. Come in here, you fat little prick. He's sitting there with nearly in tears. Nearly in tears.
It's not just Anthony. After work at the staff area, another team leader also seems to revel in aggression.
Oh, straight in. Slam. What? Is that okay? Had him pinned on the bed. Fingers in the throat. Bent his wrist up. He's like... I'm like, stop pissing me off, you little... Just,
What was he doing?
Being dramatic. Being rude.
It's Anthony, though, who talks most often about hurting the inmates.
Stabbed him, yeah.
Where?
In the leg and the arm.
With what, a pen?
Don't get vexed.
Did it go in?
Yeah.
Actually went in?
Yeah, a little bit. The leg one did. Bang!
I laugh along so he'll continue to trust me, but it's not funny. I'm sceptical about these claims until I see Anthony in particular with kids, with my own eyes. He can be an effective team leader, but he can also be a bully.
Well, let that happen then.
It's 14-year-old Billy, who was restrained in the classroom, who Anthony picks on a lot.
You all have your room, how I say you have it. If I want it clean, it's getting clean.
What, how ain't that clean, brother?
I'd reported to Anthony that Billy hadn't cleaned his room.
All I asked you to do was clean this door, and you ain't. All you done other shit, and not done nothing, have you? No.
It's uncomfortable to see because I've got a good relationship with these lads and they're still kind of laughing and joking, but you can tell that they're uncomfortable. I mean, essentially, it's just bullying kids, bullying them into doing what you want.
Well, the restraint would be good then.
Restrain, yes.
This is another male team leader, Matt.
Try and beat me up, nah?
Billy is difficult and sometimes attacks staff. but it's beginning to look like he's being targeted.
Someone else, I'm on the unit who prevented you beating me up in my room. Yes, exactly.
Matt tells me he's looking for an excuse to hurt Billy and tries to enlist my help.
If it's me to do a restraint and I'm doing it, they'll get it crazy, I know I'm safe, but if someone's there that I know is dodgy, but he needs to get hurt. Yeah. It's me, you, and...
Billy knows what will happen if he gives Matt that excuse.
I'll watch what I want.
And I'll turn off what I want.
But don't get rude.
Or...
Why am I going to threaten you so then you try and beat me up?
Yeah.
Get off my blanket.
To protect the youngsters and staff at Medway, CCTV cameras record pictures, but not sound, except in places like bedrooms, classrooms, and in the kitchen. Like here, when Billy mocks Liverpool Football Club.
Danny Welbeck and all your other team.
Look what he says at the door. No.
I love you, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Tony's for Liverpool.
I knew it was for Liverpool.
What?
Liverpool are the best.
Then this happens.
Oh, shit.
Arsenal shit.
Tell her.
Arsenal shit! I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. Hey, don't, bro, don't. You're very annoying.
Literally kind of pushed him, shoved him down, got his thumbs into Charlie's back of his neck, and then hooked one of his hands on the top of his head and kind of dug it in. And then he got, like, part of his knuckle and kind of dug it into the back of his head, like, around there.
There are no cameras here, and Matt knows it. His inappropriate behaviour is hidden.
I find that harder to deal with than the violence, if I'm honest. I mean, you think of abuse in these situations and you think it'd be sort of one member of staff slyly digging a child when nobody else is around, but looking at this, it is so openly obvious that it is just a day-to-day management strategy for them, which is despicable.
It's bedtime. Anthony is locking Billy up in his cell. It sounded like Billy was in pain, but I didn't know why. After the late shift, at the staff area outside, Anthony explains.
Oh, he's got a busted finger and I just kept grabbing it there. Like, shit.
Anthony knew Billy had an injured hand. The other custody officers listen and apparently do nothing.
The key line of defence is a professional staff who are prepared to say, this isn't right here, I'm not happy with this, I'm prepared to do that. It takes staff to blow the whistle, right? And you have to ask yourself the question about why did nobody say, look, I'm not happy with what's going on here.
G4s has had the government contract to run Medway since 1998. Last year it was paid more than £10 million. My colleagues now trust me. They give me their take on how that contract works. G4s gets fined if it officially loses control in any way, like trainees fighting. Anthony tells me some staff have found a simple way around it.
You have 2 or more trainees fighting, we've lost control of the centre. Yeah. So don't ever put it.
That means they don't report it.
If you have an incident with 4 kids, it will get split up into 2 separate incidents. That's how they do it, so they don't get fined.
Anthony claims some duty operations managers have pressured him to lie, to avoid fines. He tells me that once, even when 3 groups of lads had a fight, it wasn't reported. It was covered up.
And what, it didn't go down as...
It never does. When a unit jumps a kid, don't go down like that.
No.
Because it's classed as you've lost control. And we're not here to lose control.
No.
But
yeah, I was told that because I was told...
Misreporting to avoid fines could be fraud.
I think that is a very serious allegation. And I think that's something that needs to be specifically investigated. And certainly if that was done with the knowledge of managers at G4s, then I think that would be a very serious thing to add to, a very serious thing for them to have to answer. I think it would be very disturbing. I don't know is whether that in itself is something that needs the attention of the police.
I've now been undercover at Medway for 2 months. Today is my last shift.
Yeah? Crikey! That's not the attitude.
This is Lee, not his real name. He's 16 years old and an orphan. His mum and dad both died before he was 10 years old.
I don't even want to be a part of this world. Part of this world? Part of this unit. No.
He has a conviction for robbery and came here from care.
The second he got up in the morning, I knew he was out of character, and I could tell that he was really sad, and he's been down for the past couple of weeks.
This week is the anniversary of his mum's death.
Hey! You want to calm down? Do you want to calm down? What's he doing? Throwing the cube at the door. Go.
Earlier, Lee was rude to Anthony. Anthony's still cross about it.
If we go in there and he steps, I'm just going to hit him. Fact. Yeah. And he's just got do something to himself as well.
Sadly, Anthony's right. Lee has a history of self-harm.
Maybe we just have to look at his self-harm. He's what? Self-harm. Cut his over there.
He's treated in his cell, put on constant monitoring, and his room is stripped. The last thing to be removed is a towel. Lee doesn't want to let go of it.
Don't do it! Do it!
My camera only gets a glimpse of what happens, but I see it clearly.
Anthony came from behind and pulled him in a reverse choke and pulled him down onto the bed and choked him from behind really, really hard, and he kind of slammed him onto the bed quite hard. You know, it wasn't kind of easy to be, you know, witnessing it.
A duty operations manager called Gareth takes charge of the restraint. But this grieving boy's treatment doesn't get any better.
Listen, yeah? Hey, let's... Right, we're going to stand him up, yeah? And if he wants to play this game, we'll go for it. I can please, so you don't get kicked. Yeah.
For over 3 minutes, staff physically restrain Lee.
That's cool. Fight as much as you want. Yeah. I don't mind. We're going to get sent by the wrist, yeah?
Okay, stop there. He's saying bend his wrist, yeah, and then he does bend his wrist, right? I mean, it's pretty obvious what he's saying there, which is that the more you struggle and fight, the more it's going to hurt. It's as simple as that. Again, that's an improper use of those kind of techniques.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
The restraint continues, and Lee is once again on the floor.
That's just an abuse of power, and it's abuse of methods. It's quite horrifying.
When it's over, just like Billy, Lee's alone in his cell.
Where did you get that from?
In the staff room, Gareth and 2 other custody officers concoct a story to justify their actions.
Okay.
There's no CCTV in the bedrooms, so it'll be their word against the trainees. They tell me what to write down.
And then you saw him assault Anthony, and he stumbled to the ground.
I didn't actually see, did he clock you?
Anthony wasn't assaulted, yet I'm told to say that he was. When I won't go along with it, they try another approach.
I'm not capable of doing things. He wasn't there.
No, I was at the door.
Yeah, but you weren't. It was only me and him. You literally come seconds after.
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he?
I won't say Lee hit Anthony, so they decide I couldn't have seen everything. But I did. I was at the door throughout.
I didn't realise you got clocked. Huh? I didn't realise you got clocked. I didn't. So before I got it. I thought you did. Yeah, no, I didn't. Oh, right. But yeah, I did. Yeah.
He appears to think it's funny.
Well done.
Anthony describes what he did to Lee, move by move.
No way of it. Really keep choking, dashing someone in the bed and elbowing him in the face. Yeah. Yeah, it was set. I had one arm pinned and one arm on his neck. So when we got him on the floor, that's when I started like, giving him dicks in it.
Yeah.
And hand on his head and I probably tried to break his skull.
G4s haven't responded to us about our allegations, but claimed the filming was illegal and that the programme shouldn't be broadcast. G4s told BBC News they thoroughly vet their staff and that external monitors had not raised any concerns.
These are extremely shocking allegations and have no part in our business or in any establishment that looks after young people. We were unaware of these allegations until the Panorama sent them to us and took immediate action to report them to the police and local authority.
G4s is paid nearly £140,000 per year per inmate. 108 youngsters left here between April 2012 and April 2013. Nearly 2/3 reoffended within a year.
I'd never give up hope on myself. I can't have people treat him like that just because he's in an institution for doing wrong. To try and teach him the right way is the only way to get him fixed. And if he's around adults and authority figures that behave in such a manner, it's not going to fix him, it's going to make him worse.
Since we informed G4s of our evidence, they have suspended 7 custody officers. Gareth, who unnecessarily restrained Billy. Duty Operations Manager Chris, who choked him. And team leaders Matt and Anthony, who were bullying him. Billy has finished his sentence and is out of Medway. Kent Police have launched an investigation. Children are currently not being sent here.